Hey, do you have thoughts about moving to Green Bay, Wisconsin? Well, if you are, you may want to consider the city of De Pere. The city of De Pere is often one of the places in Green Bay that a lot of people will like to move to because it's got a couple great things in there. Great schools, it's got great shopping options, great dining options, and we're going to go through a lot of the things that there is to do here in De Pere, Wisconsin, often mistaken for a village, but it's actually its own very own city. And in this video, I'm going to show you why and how awesome it is. So with that being said, let's hit my intro. You guys already know the deal. Let's go. What's going on, guys? This is King Jerome, your local real estate agent here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And on this channel, I love helping families and individuals like yourself find all the information they need and to relocate here to Green Bay, Wisconsin without the hassle of trying to figure it all out. All right, so in this video, like I was saying in the intro, we're gonna dive right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the overall vibe of De Pere. So De Pere is honestly really known to be very bougie, I would say. It's very, that's really how it's known. Howard is like that as well. De Pere is like that as well. Suamico is like that as well. Same thing with Florence. I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the videos that I have here on my channel, I talked about how the outskirts, it might have been one of the map videos, on the outskirts of Green Bay, it's almost like a circle. The way the highway design, which is completely screwed up, but it's a giant circle. Everything on the outside is usually very, very high-end homes on literally the outskirts of Green Bay. And once you get inside Green Bay, you still have very good homes, but they're not the extremely high-end homes like you'll have, because on the outskirts, that's when you start going north of 800K homes. Right? So De Pere is known to be very bougie, and there'll be a couple spots that I talk about during this video where I mention how De Pere has this it carries this I guess connotation, I would say, or this reputation, that's a better word, it carries a reputation for being almost the top notch for everything, whether it comes to homes, whether it comes to schooling for your kids, sports, things like that. It may or may not be true, but that is like the general consensus that you will find here in Green Bay. The next one we're going to talk about is shopping and dining options. So De Pere it's a very like small little community, very nice to come out, you know, have some dinner. There's a couple of shops and stuff around here, and the cool thing about De Pere, it's so close to St. Norbert College, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later in this video. But as you can see in this area that you're seeing, this is actually some dining options. There's like one coffee shop very popular called The Exchange. That'd be down here in the lower left. And then you have other restaurants like Gallagher's Pizza, there's the market, and there's a few other things. So it's open to the community, but this is all located within, I guess you would call, the college campus in a way. Even though it's technically not part of the campus, but in a way it is. And it's also very popular for social life. So if you are a young person, you have young adult kids or adult children who may or may not live with you and they want to come explore, there's a lot of options here to do that. There's also, if you guys are very business minded, there's a lot of young entrepreneur meeting of the minds meetings that actually tend to occur in these shops and in these coffee shops here in De Pere. So the next thing we're going to talk about is some recreational stuff. So as you can see in some of my drone footage here, you can see a couple of people on boats, whether they're fishing, whether they're just doing some boating. But this entire river, this body of water is actually called the Fox River, and it stretches a pretty decent distance. I think it can go pretty, I think almost halfway down the middle of the state. But the Fox River does stretch out pretty far. So this is actually a very popular spot. Right now, when I took this drone footage, there wasn't many boats out, but on average, you will find the water just completely littered with boats, with people just fishing there, you know, trying to do their thing and get a snag. I'm not a big fisherman, so I honestly only caught 2 fish ever in my entire life. So I can't try to impress or anything with fishing jargon because I just don't know it. I just don't. But that's what I do know, that a lot of people like to come to the Fox River to go shopping. There's a couple of boat launches as well that are here in De Pere to get onto the water, which is also why a lot of people tend to come this way just to get into the water to begin with. The next thing we're going to talk about is parks. So this is like one of the parks here that we have here in De Pere, but there's so many other parks, and I actually just missed the community pool that they have in here, even though technically it's not open yet, so I didn't even record it. But there is a community pool here, just like in the video that I did a couple months back about the community pools that there are in the city of Green Bay within the city limits. De Pere, like I mentioned before, it looks and feels like a village, but it's actually its own city, which is why it has its own fire department, and your boy's on it. So the parks are very nice, very clean, and you're gonna find that across the board in Green Bay. In the Green Bay metro area, it is all clean, very nice places to go. In Green Bay, in De Pere, and Alloway. As of the recording of this video, I still haven't covered Alloway yet, but I will, and when you do watch those videos, you're gonna see how nice those parks there are as well. The next thing I wanna talk about is the Mulva Center. So this is a little quick drone footage over here. The fire department's right here, right in front, and on the side, this giant building over here is the Mulva Center. So this was recently created, I want to say in the last, not created but built in the last like 3 or so years. And here they like to host a lot of scientific things that inspire kids. You know what I mean? It's like a museum. It's like a museum, that type of vibe. That it's always changing themes, always bringing something in. Like they'll do dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, maybe 1 month, and they might switch it over to something else like Legos and things like that. It's very cool to come check it out and visit it, especially it being local. I personally have not gone there yet. I just might at some point just to check it out, but as of right now, I just haven't gone. I guess I just haven't had the desire to really go check it out, but it's very nice. From what I hear from the people who have gone there for events and things like that, they truly enjoy the experience that they get out of that. Now let's talk about some homes. Let's talk about some real estate here. So here we are at another neighborhood here in De Pere, even though it's all a city. This is just another little community neighborhood over here. Very beautiful. You can even see the De Pere water tower way off in the back over there. And actually behind all these homes over here, you have one of the schools, De Pere East, I believe. So there's 2 major high schools here, De Pere East, De Pere West, and they're both very good at sports, especially De Pere West. If I'm not mistaken, the year before, they were state champions when it came to boys basketball. So a lot of sporting opportunities. This is a very coveted school district, and that is great, especially if you want your kids, you know, to be in great sports. Even though all the school systems in Green Bay are very good, but if I'm being honest with you, De Pere tends to be what a lot of people hold in their minds like the cream of the crop. So I'm sure you'll hear about that. I'm not here to try to tell you to pick one or not pick one, but usually that is where people like to gravitate to. So with home prices, a lot of homes here on average, you know, they go between $300,000 to $400,000 for these homes. Sometimes they might climb up higher to 5, sometimes 600K, especially the ones you guys saw in the drone footage where I flew over a lot of those waterfront properties. Those are gonna climb way north of $600,000-700,000. Some of those are probably in the millions if I'm not mistaken. So a big thing too with property taxes here, a lot of times it could be a little more expensive. So on average I'm gonna assume this house right here is like a 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 bath. And I would estimate maybe they pay between, $4,000 to $5,000 a year in property tax. So make sure that is something that you keep in mind when you are shopping and looking. So with that, let's get back to the studio. Sweet. Awesome. Welcome back. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that close-up view of those homes. Now, let's talk about St. Norbert College. So let's go back to St. Norbert College, and this is the campus here. So St. Norbert is, I believe it's a Catholic college if I'm not mistaken. But what's really cool about it, that St. Norbert College is actually one of the University of Wisconsin, Medical College of Wisconsin colleges, meaning this is an actual medical school. So if you yourself, or you have children or family members or friends who are in medical school, this is a place where you will get that education to become a full-blown physician. As a matter of fact, the Pere does tend to have a lot of international students, as well as students from all around the country, because many of you may know who are in the medical field, especially when it comes to becoming a physician, things like that. A lot of times you get paired up with a college or with a hospital or something like that in order for you to complete your fellowship, or I can't remember what the other one is called. Fellowship, it's like an internship, or I'm forgetting the other word that's often used. I'm forgetting, but it's like the internship portion after you get your degree to finish up. Once you're done with all the class studying, to actually get out in the field. The Pere and St. Norbert are known for that, because here in Green Bay we have 4 major hospitals, and there's a video on my channel where I talk about those 4 major hospitals and what each of them are able to do in their capabilities. So it might surprise a lot of people, but Green Bay is a very top-notch place for you to get your medical education. Now let's talk about schools, public schools here in De Pere. So in De Pere, it's great, excellent schools. And as a matter of fact, here is some more drone footage of one of the high schools. I didn't get both high schools, but this is one of the high schools. As you can see, great maintenance of the entire property, beautiful fields, beautiful football stadium, and it's awesome. It's a great time watching your kids come play, whether it's football or any other sport. De Pere is known for being, when it comes to sports, one of the better schools in the area. I think the teams that top them might be the ones in Howard and Swamico School District. But other than that, I think them two are like pretty neck and neck. As a matter of fact, the West De Pere high school boys for basketball were state champions, whether it's last year, a couple years back. But they're up there, man. I'm telling you, they are up there when it comes to sports. And it's something awesome to watch, especially when you know the kids, because I'm telling you, De Pere, you know how I already told you guys before in the past how Green Bay, it's like a small town, but it's a city. De Pere is literally a mini version of Green Bay, which Green Bay is a mini version of a giant city and a small town at the same time. So De Pere is the same exact way, just on a slightly smaller scale than Green Bay. So you tend to know a lot of these students, a lot of these kids, a lot of these neighbors. And it's awesome. It's honestly a great and awesome time. So, well, that's the end of the tour, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful in helping you come up with a decision or conversation that you guys want to have. If the Pere is the type of place that you want to come move to. As a reminder, like I tell you guys in most of my videos, you literally have to tell me 2 or 3 things that you're looking for in a neighborhood, in a home, and I could tell you down to the very street, or at least a couple streets that you should be looking at, all right? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the great weather. It's finally summer again, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video. And be looking out for my weekly emails. Awesome stuff in there. Take it easy, guys.